Hello friends, how are you? Welcome back to the Matt Greer Music channel. So it's been a minute since I've just kind of sat down and talked to you guys and hung out and everything, so I thought I'd do a video like that and just kind of talk about music stuff. I also have a record release announcement, but more on that in a little bit. So sitting next to me here is my trusty RYTM and Analog 4 Mark 1s. I've had these for years. I love them. They're truly powerhouse devices in my studio. They've been sitting here on my mixing desk for years. But I haven't really been using them as groove boxes for a long time. I've generally used them as sound modules, like if I need like a real fat kick for a project or something, you know, I'll dial that up and record it, put it into the DAW or whatever I need, or a sampler, and then just kind of move on. Same with the synths. I just kind of would find the patch that I wanted, get it into the project, and move on. But they just released an awesome new update for the RYTM. A bunch of new machines that allow for new synthesis types. A lot of them are now melodically inclined, so you can play them chromatically. So it kind of takes it away from only drum synthesis territory and into like full like synthesizer groove box territory. It already could kind of do that, but they just really built on that, and it was a really big update. I haven't messed with everything that's included. I don't even know about really how to work with everything that's included, but it did inspire me to work with this as a groove box again. And obviously if I'm going to use this, I'm going to use the Analog 4 as well, because they are a match made in heaven. Routing wise, I've just have the outputs of the RYTM going into the inputs of the Analog 4, then the Analog 4 going into my little patch bay over here, going into this compressor to just really minorly sort of glue everything together, and then into my DAW to record. So I thought I'd just walk through some of the sounds that I have going here, and then we'll do a jam, and then I'll get back to you that record release. So let's start with the RYTM here. So basically, here's my kick. Real simple kick. I didn't want something real boomy because it clashes with the bass. We'll see that in a second. Here's my snare. Nice snare. Clap. Two hats, and then this is one of the new machines. It's a modified cowbell, but it's one of the ones you can play chromatically. So I wanted to at least incorporate a little bit of that. Everything on here is synthesis. Now this machine will layer samples with synthesis, or you can like turn up the sample and turn down the synthesis, so it's like playing samples. I lost the samples on this like years ago during an update, and I just never put them back on there, so I just use it entirely as a drum synthesis analog drum machine. One of these days I might try to get the samples back on there, but I never really used them anyway, and then when they were gone, I was just kind of too lazy to mess with it. So it is what it is, but I love it. I love the way it sounds. Now, moving to this guy, the Analog 4, 4 tracks. Four tracks of synthesis, all running their own sequencer sets. But I'll just walk through the sounds here. That one's kind of got, chill on that delay. It's got kind of really exaggerated LFOs. So it almost has that glitchy sort of thing that like the Bass Station 2 can do, the Aphex Twin mode, where it changes patches kind of randomly to sound like a bunch of different sounds at once. That's not what's actually happening, but it sort of mimics that because of how exaggerated and random the LFOs are. But that's kind of probably the main riff of this track we'll do. Secondly, we've got just this lovely brass. I like the synth. It always sounds good. And then let's see, what's this one? Oh yeah, this is kind of a glitchy little riff. Sounds a little weird out of context, but it sounds really cool in the track. And then finally we've got just some nice fat grimy bass with a lot of pulse width on it. So yeah, that's what's going on there. That's what's going on there. We'll hear it in context in just a second. Now back to the record that I mentioned. So I've got an EP coming out on December 22nd, made entirely on this little guy. Actually, some of the tracks were made on the Street Fighter version, but this is the original, but same exact thing. Anyway, it's something that I've been working on for a while, and basically had like 30 recordings out of that thing, and just decided to select, like, I think there's 9 tracks on it of my favorite ones, and put that on a little EP. I'm calling it an EP because it's only about 23 minutes long, something like that. But not only is it made that way, but the whole concept of this project is to marry a workflow, specific workflow, with a specific art aesthetic. So while I've been working on this, I've been doing a whole series of drawings that are equally kind of lo-fi and simple. So the drawings are done on, you know, 3-inch square post-it notes, like the yellow paper, with black ink and red ink. And I've just stuck to that aesthetic through the whole thing. You'll be seeing images on the screen right now. But the idea is to marry a process for making music with a process for visual, I don't know if it's storytelling, but complementary imagery, and to build a whole body of work that incorporates both. So being that it's a new project, a new concept, I thought, let's start small, literally. Let's keep the process simple, like the drawings are simple, the recording process is simple, and then build from there. So after this comes out, I plan on doing another release that will have more advanced recording techniques. Maybe we'll use a different sampler like my MPC or something that can be a lot more high fidelity and have more tracks and things. So the music will grow, but equally I'll have to make a new series of artwork that can stand up to that as well. And eventually I want to just kind of have this thing that escalates and becomes more detailed. That'll probably require longer periods of time between each release, because it'll get just to be more work. But anyway, I'm pretty excited about it. And again, it's December 22nd. I'm changing the artist name on this because it is a new concept. I've decided to go with Monfade. If you check out the links in the description, it explains what that means. And on my socials and stuff, there's sort of an articulation of the thought process behind all of this. So I hope you'll check that out. It's going to be on Bandcamp, Spotify, every streamer you can think of. It's going to be out there and ready on Friday, December 22nd, 2 weeks from now. All right. Thank you for listening to that. If you're still with me, let's have a jam on the Analog Brothers, shall we?